start off my observations this week with the fact that Raw was actually a pretty good show. What do you know? It was actually, I mean, of course, there are always peaks and valleys with Raw because it's 3 hours, and 3 hours is pretty long for a wrestling show. So with that, there are going to be some high points and there are going to be some low points, and that's just par for the course. But the high points were very good, I thought, with Monday Night Raw. So that's a positive. You know, SmackDown has consistently had, I think, a better show than Raw, partially because it is only 2 hours, but also because I think just the show it's been overall just better. But Raw, they put up a fight this week as far as the two brands, which one's going to have a better show this week. Raw, like I said, it's going to put up a fight, and it just so happened Raw was, in my opinion, a very good show without the presence of the authority figures, without the presence of General Manager Mick Foley or Commissioner Stephanie McMahon. Maybe that's just a coincidence. Maybe that, it just so happens that they weren't there this week and it was a good show. Or if you're not necessarily a fan of authority figures, you might think that the reason why the show was so good is because the authority figures were out of the way and the show was purely about the wrestlers, which is, in my opinion, always a better way of going about things, is making the wrestlers the focal point of the show. The show opened up with what I thought was a very good segment and hyping the Royal Rumble match with Brock Lesnar. You had Paul Heyman, you had Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, you had a bunch of people. And I thought that segment where everybody got their chance to shine for a little bit as far as, the brawl, the Brock Lesnar and Sami Zayn stare down, which the people were into. The Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman standoff, which people were also into. Anything pretty much Brock Lesnar people were into. But I thought that this was tremendous hype for the Royal Rumble match. And if the Royal Rumble match is not, miles better than the last couple years, and I'm talking 2015 and 2016 in particular, if it's not miles ahead of those two matches, I think WWE did not do a good job with the match. The match should be very, very good. It's obviously got a bunch of big names. And I think the last couple of weeks, with Goldberg being there a couple of weeks ago, Brock Lesnar being there this week, and doing all the stuff with Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn and others, that the Royal Rumble match looks on paper and heading into it, looks like it should be a very, very fun match. And I wrap up my observations this week with the end of Raw, which was the six-man tag between Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, and Braun Strowman going up against Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Sami Zayn. The match itself was a lot of fun. It was a good match. But the end of the show was Kevin Owens finally getting the better of Roman Reigns by powerbombing him through the announce table that's, of course, positioned up on the stage. Not at ringside on Raw. It's up on stage for Raw. But nonetheless, I thought that was good. I mean, finally. I mean, it took long enough for Kevin Owens to finally get something on Roman Reigns. I mean, it seemed like week after week we see Roman Reigns either Superman punch Kevin Owens or spear Kevin Owens and something. He beats him in matches all the time, one-on-one with no interference, just flat out beats him. And routinely gets the better of him. Well, Kevin Owens finally got himself one, and I thought it made, put a nice little bow on top of the show, and it helped Kevin Owens. He needed that. He needed to look somewhat dangerous. He needs to look like a threat to Roman Reigns. Other than this segment, it looked like Roman Reigns is going to steamroll through him, especially with Chris Jericho being in a cage at the Royal Rumble, a shark cage, suspended high above the ring at the Royal Rumble. It looks like Kevin Owens has no chance of keeping the Universal Championship. Well, WWE just finally put it in their heads that, hey, Kevin Owens might have a chance. Look how much of a threat he was after he powerbombed Roman Reigns through the announce table. Well, that wraps up my observations for this week. Make sure to check out my full recap of Raw on the Squared Circle blog on Philly.com. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Vaughn Johnson. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow night after SmackDown Live.